Californians turned their Teslas in this month, according to a new report by Edmunds. And Christine, you looked at what's actually behind the surge and how it's impacting the EV market overall.
Yeah, so whenever you have a brand like this politicized, that's usually not a good thing, right? Because you're going to have half of America not happy with it. And already Tesla investors are expecting first quarter deliveries to be down about 3.5% from this time last year. So that new car data you mentioned from car shopping website Edumunds shows that the number of Tesla owners trading in their EVs jumped nearly 250% this month, year over year.
How underwater are you on the car?
Around $10,000.
This father of two, who asked us not to use his name due to the current heated political climate, wants to get rid of his 2021 Tesla, even though he'll lose money by doing so. The reason behind his decision? Elon Musk.
I just became honestly disgusted by what he stands for.
He says he used to admire the Tesla founder, but that all changed when the billionaire took a lead role in the Trump administration.
And I'm not really like a cancel culture kind of person. Like I didn't stop shopping at Target last month and all those kinds of things. That's never been my way of handling these types of things. But I just honestly, I feel kind of dirty driving it around.
And he worries about how he's viewed when he's behind the wheel.
I definitely feel people are more aggressive towards me on the road now. I've been, flipped the bird more in the last 2 months than I think I had in the last 2 years.
New numbers out from the car buying website Edumunds show a significant increase in the number of Californians who are trading in their Teslas. In March of 2024, Tesla made up 1.3% of trade-ins toward new or used purchases at dealerships. That number dropped to 0.8% the next month. But by November of last year, election month, that number rose to 2.1%, and though it dipped slightly the following month, the rate of Tesla trade-ins then rose steadily. By March, it was 4.5%.
We know that Tesla has a high market share here in California for new vehicles. But the thing about it is the brand hasn't been around that long. And so when we look at trade-in data, it could be anything from, 1979 Chevy truck to a vehicle that came out this year. So it is quite a high number.
Edumunds also found that interest in Tesla is waning for new buyers. Last month, those shopping for a Tesla on Edumunds, which boasts 20 million visits each month, dropped to its lowest level since October of 2022. Is it safe to say that this is tied to what's going on in the federal government?
I think some of it is tied to what we're seeing with Elon Musk having such a tie to the presidential administration. I think that probably plays on a lot of people's minds. However, there are other reasons too. I mean, I think if you look around the area, particularly in Los Angeles, Teslas are ubiquitous. They're everywhere. So if anyone that bought a Tesla in the early days because they wanted to stand out, be different, be an early adopter, it's certainly not a Tesla today, because they're everywhere.
What does that do to the price of what people are able to get for their used Teslas?
It really is just a case of supply and demand, and the prices will go down even further.
According to Car Gurus, a car buying site, the price of the newest model, the Cybertruck, has a resale value 58% less than its original price. And Kelley Blue Book reports a decrease year over year in the sale of new Teslas.
What it looks like is that in 2023, the number of vehicles sold in the U.S. per year has peaked, and that since 2023, it's been gradually coming down.
And experts say if you are in the market for an EV, you can get a really good deal on a used Tesla right now. The Model S is down on average more than 16%, and the Y is down nearly the same. And the gentleman who we profiled in that piece texted me, said he looked at a Polaris this weekend and thinks he's going to go with that, and he's going to trade in his Tesla. And he said he was talking to the dealership there, and they said almost everyone coming in to buy one of their vehicles is trading in a Tesla.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, there's more competition now. When Tesla first came on scene, it was really the only long-range EV, but now you've got Kia and Hyundai and Polaris and Rivian and so much more to choose from.
Yeah, and I think the people, he really did move the EV market, Elon Musk.
He was a pioneer.
Teslas. He was a pioneer, but I think a lot of the people who are environmentally conscious now are, with the ones who were buying Tesla before.
Right, and they're now usually the ones who are shying away politically from that. So it's interesting.